Hey guys, James Sain here. Today I want to take a look at the Mike Roberts Color Corrector plugin for Adobe Premiere Pro. Is it worth buying for you? It's called the MBR Color Corrector 3 at the time of this recording, and it cost about $67. Now, this is not for someone who shoots in log and wants to add color correction for a specific look. It's for someone who wants accurate colors at the time the video is shot and then use it as a starting point. Now, I shoot on the Canon 90D and 80D, and they do a pretty good job of realistically reproducing accurate colors, but it can be improved upon. Now, with all my videos in studio, I do minor color correction to achieve the look I want, even with Canon faithfully reproducing the colors. Now, Premiere Pro has no color checker plugin built in, as some other editing programs do. I wish they did, but they don't. So the Mike Roberts Color Corrector solves that problem. Incidentally, I'll be using the OBS, it's a free software for audio and screen capture, to show my editing. So let's take a look at some of the video editing. Hey guys, all right, so we're gonna take a look and see there's a color plugin called Mike Roberts Color Checker. It's for Adobe Premiere Pro to see if this is worth buying. It's about $68. Now, I have shot some footage here, shot on the Canon 90D in the standard profile. And honestly, I use auto white balance because the Canon does such a good job of faithfully reproducing the color. But let's see if this can make it look any better. And I also shot where I'm using the standard profile, but I set the color balance to tungsten, and then I'm shooting at 5600K daylight. So let's see if how well this checker works. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna copy my footage, copy here, unlink this so that I can work on individual files. So let's get to a point where I'm also using it in conjunction with the X-Rite Color Checker for video. Oh, and then I also use, it's the Andover, it's a 24 by 24 inch gray white balance reflector. It only costs $20 on Amazon. And I often use that when I have my settings correct. I just click on well, I'll show you what I do. So here on the Canon 90D, go to Lumetri Color, and I'll just pick the white balance selector, and I'll click on my white balance. Now this does a great job for me in having realistic colors. So I like this a lot. But let's take a look at the color checker and see how well that does. So that's the white balance. I'm gonna copy this again, unlink these. All right, so now I'll work on this clip here and use the Mike Roberts color checker and see how it compares. So you need to get this in the screen, and you need to get the reflections off of it, and you need to not have it crooked. So that looks pretty good there. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this clip. I'm going to go to Effects, and I've already downloaded and installed. So under Video Effects, Color Correction, here's my Mike Roberts. It's called MBR Color Corrector 3. I'm going to drag it and drop it on this clip here. I'll go to my Effects panel. Now I can do where it can find the card in the frame, or I can manually select it, and I can show you both. So the first thing I want to do, I want to zoom up to where this fills a lot of the frame. And I need to pick, I am in the Mike Roberts Color Corrector. I'm on the source, not the target. I'm not targeting another video. I'm using the source here from this video. So I'm gonna go to this drop-down box. I happen to be using the X-Rite Color Checker Passport for video. So you have to check the correct one so that these colors match these colors. And since I'm zoomed up, I'm just gonna say find card in frame. And it did. So let me zoom back out. Actually, let me stay zoomed up. Let's just go over to my face, a little more full frame. So that's with the Mike Roberts Color Checker on. I'm just going to turn this off for a second. So it's a definite improvement. This is closer to my color scheme. This is closer to the color of the wall behind my office. So that's before the color correction. So I do like that. It is much better. It's a definite improvement. All right, but let's say that the auto function had trouble finding the card correctly. So if you're gonna choose it manually, so I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna take off the color corrector. So I need to go reapply it under effects, video effects, the mic, the NBR color corrector. I'll drop it on this particular clip. And the way you manually select it, you don't have to do it in this order, but I'm gonna go ahead and check the X-Rite Color Checker Passport Video. That's the one I'm using. So you have to match this color box with this color box. You have to choose the right color checker. So now I'm gonna manually select. So the way you do that is highlight the NBR color corrector and it brings up this screen. So what I'm gonna do, it has these 4 corners. I'm gonna match to these 4 corners here. So I'm just gonna bring this in to get it a little bit closer. And then I'll fine tune it once I get everything within the frame. I can make this, no, that doesn't make it any bigger. Okay, so now I'll fine tune this. I'll try to line this up with that white mark there. That with that right little triangle at each corner. It's this triangle that I'm matching to. Okay, I'll come back over here. And then I'm under source again. Instead of find card in frame where it does it automatically, I'll choose read from frame. And then when you check read from frame, let me get to another spot where I can see my face a little better. Oh, to make this go away, it still thinks, because this is highlighted here, it thinks I'm trying to select something. Just go to any other special effects or any other effect. Click on that, it takes that frame away. So this is with the Mike Roberts color corrector on. I'm gonna toggle it off here. All right, so that's off, and let me take a look. That's on. Yeah, that's closer to the color of my face, the color of the wall. And so it does a good job. I like it. It gets truer color representation. All right, so now I'm gonna compare where I did color correction just by clicking on the white balance eyedropper and then clicking on the white Andor foldable balance card. So that will be on the left versus the Mike Roberts color checker, which will be on the right. And to me, the colors are extremely similar. I think the color on the right is just ever so slightly better, but it's extremely subtle. And if you threw one up and said, I don't know which one it is, tell me the difference, I don't think I could do it. So with the Canon cameras, the white balance, just using a white balance card, works just as well as the Mike Roberts color checker. Now let's take a look, and if your camera settings and the light did not match at all, let's see how the Mike Roberts color checker does there. All right, so a fair comparison, let's try when I shot with the wrong light. I shot in tungsten light setting on the camera when I'm shooting 5600K in the studio. So let's take a look at just picking the white balance dropper versus the Mike Roberts color corrector. So here I have on the Canon 90D, I've got my Andor collapsible color corrector. Let's take a look at that. We got to get out of here. Go to Lumetri color. Here's my white balance under basic correction, my white balance selector. I'm going to click on that. Well, that was not a huge improvement. So we'll take a look at that in a second. Now let's take, so that I remain saving that, let me copy the original footage, paste that in here. Let me get to a color corrector here. Let's zoom up. Oops, let's zoom up 400%. Get this a little more straight. You want to get these highlights. You don't want highlights on your card. So let me go backwards. All right, that looks like it'll do pretty good. Okay, now I'm on the Canon 90D. Let's drop the Mike Roberts color corrector on there. Here it is here. Let's make sure we have under source is where we're going to work. The card type is going to be, for me, the Extract Color Checker Passport video, so that this matches this. We'll do find card, we'll try the auto function. Okay, so that's a definite improvement. Pop out of here. Let me get to some. Now it's not, the colors aren't great. It's a much better improvement over. Let me see what the. Let's put. I'll put these side by side and see what it looks like. Okay, so in a side by side comparison, let's go ahead and start this playing. So here on the left, this was just choosing the eyedropper white balance, and here on the right was using the Mike Roberts color corrector. This is so much better of a starting point to try and color correct. Let me, with the caveat, you should always strive to have the camera settings match your lighting, but if you didn't, and we all make mistakes, it would be much easier to try and color correct this than this. This is much closer to reality than this here. So the Mike Roberts, while it's not anywhere near perfect, it gives you a much better starting point in my opinion. Okay, so is the Mike Roberts color plugin for you? I don't know. It's not that expensive, and it improves my color quality on Canon cameras. So the answer for me is a definite yes. Now the eyedropper in Premiere Pro, to select what is white, it gets me pretty darn close to the plugin, but the plugin is definitely better. So yes, I do recommend it. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next weekly video. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you next week.